Hello, welcome to today's learning session. I am Arpita Sangupta. I will be teaching you in this session. I will be teaching you implementation of GST in Tally. Now, what is GST? GST is Goods and Services Tax. It is an indirect tax which is levied on the sale of goods or services or both, except except on supply of alcoholic liquor for human consumption. GST is a value-added tax. GST is a comprehensive continuous chain of tax credit. GST eliminates the GST after the implementation of GST. The existing cascading effect of other indirect tax has been phased out. GST brings a uniform tax structure in all over the country, and the ultimate GST burden is borne by the end customer, that is the consumer. GST is basically type of GST is basically depends on the movement of goods, that is from where to where the goods are moving. If goods are moving from one state to another, it is interstate tax, and if the goods move within the same state, it is intrastate tax. In case of interstate tax, the GST which is applicable, which is levied, is IGST. And in case of intrastate movement of goods, intrastate movement of goods, within the state movement of goods, SGST and CGST, the total GST rate is divided into two parts, SGST and CGST, half. Suppose the GST rate is 18%, then 9% will be CGST and 9% will be SGST. This feature is known as the dual model of GST. Now, our today's topic is the implementation of GST, the very basic implementation of GST in Tally, which we will learn in a very simplified manner. Now, we will go to the Tally screen, or we will load the Tally software. Okay. I have loaded the Tally software. Also, I have selected and opened the company ABC Private Limited. The very first step is the activation of GST in Tally, and that activation has to be done through Tally features. How to bring Tally features? As I've already explained in my previous Tally sessions, to bring Tally features, we have to press F11. Okay. Now from here, we will go to this option, Enable Goods and Services Tax. We'll press enter and go to this option, Enable Goods and Services Tax. This option has to be set to yes. After this screen will come. Whenever we will activate that option, this screen, GST details screen, will come. Here we have to put the GST details of our company for whom we are working, the company in which we are working as the accountant. Now, first we have to select the state, the name of the state where the company is situated, where the transaction, where the company accounts are being maintained. Okay, if the accounts are being maintained in another state, if it is maintained in Mumbai or Delhi or Chennai, any other state, we have to select the particular state where Maharashtra or Delhi, we have to select the state. Okay. Here we have to select West Bengal because we are doing our transactions from West Bengal. Registration type. Under registration type, there are three categories. One is regular, another is composition, another is regular SEZ, Special Economic Zone. We will select regular. Assessee of other territory. For the time being, we are setting this option to no. Now, next is very important. We have to provide our GST, our company's GST registration number, that is the GST. A GST is a 15-digit code. The first two digits is the state code. In case of West Bengal, the state code is 19. In case of other states, the state code differs. In case of Delhi, the state code is 07. In case of other states, the state code differs from one state to another. Okay. The first two digits is the state code. The next 10 digit is the PAN, permanent account number of the company. That means up to Q. It is the PAN of the company. Next two digits are the company's entity number. what is the number of branch, or what is the number of entity, and the last digit is the checksum code. Okay. Next, we have to select the periodicity, the period of filing our GST return. Here we have selected the option monthly. Next, we can provide GST username. We can choose the mode of e-filing, whether it is DSC or EVC. Here we are selecting not applicable. Now, in case of GST, e-invoicing is mandatory. So we have to set this option to yes. E-invoicing applicable, this option has to be set to yes. Applicable from 1st April 24. This date will be the beginning date of the company, whatever company in which we are working, the financial year beginning date will be taken over here. Invoice bill from place, the name of the place from where we are raising this invoice. Suppose we are raising the invoice from Kolkata, we will give the name of the place over here. E-way bill applicable if the value of transaction exceeds 50,000 during a particular transaction. E-way bill is mandatory for those transactions. Okay. So after passing the GST entry, e-way bill will be automatically generated. So we have to set this option to yes. And e-way bill applicable from will again take the financial year beginning date. Applicable for intra-state means within the state, yes. Now in this example, I will be showing you intra-state GST transactions. That means within the same state, transactions, movement of goods from West Bengal to West Bengal, and a movement of goods within West Bengal. Okay. So after filling in all the details, we have to save this page. And again, we will go back to the company features page. We have to save this page as well. Save. Next, after this, we have to create some GST related masters. Masters means we have to create some ledger accounts. We have to create the stock item. Under the ledger accounts, first we have to create the purchase ledger, which we are going to use at the time of GST, at the time of sale, purchase of goods. Next, we have to create the sales ledger, which we are going to use at the time of sale of goods. Then we have to create the supplier ledger from whom we are going to purchase the goods along with the GST, along with suppliers, correct GST. Next, also we have to create the debtor ledger to whom we are going to sell the goods with proper GST of the debtor. Then we have to create the GST ledgers, the tax ledgers of GST. That is, as we are doing intrastate, the tax ledgers will be CGST and SGST. During purchase, input CGST, input SGST. During sales, output CGST, output SGST. We have to specify the rate of GST which is applicable during these transactions. Then we have to create the stock item, what we are going to buy and what we are going to sell. So these are the things what we are going to do in masters. Then we will pass the GST vouchers. Now let us create the masters first. So from gateway of tally, we will choose the create option. From there, we will create the ledger first. So we will go to ledger option. Next, first I am creating the purchase ledger. Purchase account. Purchase ledger will be under purchase accounts group. The group name will be purchase accounts. Next, inventory values affected will be yes. Type of ledger not needed, so not applicable. Include in assessable value calculation, not applicable. GST applicability. This option has to be set to yes. GST applicability applicable. HSN or SSC details as per company group. GST rate details. Here in this option, GST rate details, we have to select this option, specify details here. Here, next, this taxability type, we have to select the option from this category. We have to select the option taxable. We have to put the GST rate because in our case, we will be purchasing computer and computer accessories, and we will be selling computer and computer accessories. The rate of computer and computer accessories GST rate is 18%. So here we will, in this purchase ledger, we will put the rate 18%. Type of supply is goods. Then we will save the purchase ledger. Next, we will create the sales ledger, sales account. The sales ledger will be under sales accounts. Type of ledger, inventory values are affected, yes. Type of ledger not applicable. Including assessable value calculation not applicable, GST applicability will be applicable. HSN or SSA details will be as per company group. GST rate details has to be specified details here. Then taxability type will be taxable. GST rate will be again 18%. And type of supply will be goods. So after these options, we will save the sales ledger. Next, we will create the supplier ledger from whom we are going to buy the goods. Suppose we are buying computer and computer accessories from Lalani Infotech Private Limited, Lalani Infotech Limited. Okay. It is the supplier ledger, so it will be under sundry creditors group. Maintain balances bill by bill will be yes, as because whenever we are going to purchase, invoice will be provided to us. We have to record the invoice number. So maintain balances bill by bill option has to be set to yes. Mailing name will be Lalani Infotech Private Limited. Address has to be given. We have to put the address of the proper address of the supplier. Next, state West Bengal, country India, pin code we have to provide. After that, we can provide the bank details as well. We have to provide the bank details in case of payment and all. Next, we have to provide the PAN of the customer of the supplier and the GST of the supplier. Now, what I will do, I will type down the PAN from the GST. Now, what do we have to do then? I will go to the GST option first and type down the GST registration number, the GST number of Lalani Infotech. Now, let us type the GST number. Okay, now in this GST number, the PAN number is AACL5662Q. So we will type down the PAN over here, AACL5662Q. Next, set or alter additional GST details is not needed. We will save the supplier ledger. Next, we will create the customer ledger, the sundry debtor ledger. We are selling goods. Suppose we are selling goods to Nimbus Computers Private Limited. Okay, it will be under sundry debtors. Maintain balances bill by bill option will be set to yes. Name, we have to put down, we have to provide the mailing details, bank details, and tax registration details of this debtor ledger as well. So we will type down the address of the debtor first. Next, state is West Bengal. Pin code we have to provide. The pin code of that customer. Bank details has to be set to yes and provide the bank details. Then we have to provide the PAN and GST of the customer. First, we will type down the GST. Then from the GST, we will type down the PAN. The PAN is AACL4560H. Okay. Set or alter additional GST details is not required. Next, we will save the customer ledger. After creating the supplier and customer ledger, we will create the tax ledgers of GST. In case of purchase, as because it is intra-state purchase, we are going to use input CGST and input SGST. Okay, the total of GST rate of 18% will be 9% CGST and 9% SGST. In case of sale also, the total 18% will be divided into 9% CGST, 9% SGST, that is output CGST and output SGST. So we will create these 4 tax ledgers right now. First, we will create these ledgers. Input CGST. Under will be duties and taxes. Type of duty or tax will be GST. Tax type, GST tax type will have to be as it is input CGST. From this tax category, we will select CGST. Then we have to provide the percentage of GST calculation. What is the percentage? I told you it is 9%. After that, rounding method not applicable. save. Similarly, we will create input SGST ledger as well. Input SGST under duties and taxes, type of duty or tax will be GST. Tax type will be SGST or UTGST, and percentage of calculation will be 9%. Okay. Next, we will create the output CGST ledger, which is to be used at the time of sale of goods. Under duties and taxes, type of due tax will be GST, and tax type GST tax type will be CGST. Percentage will be 9%. Similarly, we will create output SGST ledger as well. Under duties and taxes, GST, SGST or UTGST will be the GST tax type, and the percentage will be 9%. After creating the GST ledgers, we will have to create the stock item which we are going to buy and which we are going to sell, along with proper HSN code. Proper HSN classification is very much necessary for to get the proper GST rate at the time of passing the voucher entry. Proper GST, each and every product under the GST classification has an HSN code which tags the item to the particular GST rate. Okay, so we will be creating 3 stock items. One is computer, another is mouse, another is keyboard. We have to provide the proper HSN code of these 3 items so that the GST rate will be taken automatically. Correct GST rate will be taken, will be tagged during the entry. Okay, so we will exit from this page. We will go to gateway of tally. Again, we will go to create option and then go to inventory masters category. From there, first we have to create the unit of measurement. Okay, unit of measurement of the stock item. The unit of measurement, normally computers, these items are sold in pieces. So we will select the symbol PCS. Then we have to provide the full name or the formal name, pieces. After that, we have to do the unit code mapping. Okay, the unit code mapping for pieces will be this one. Pieces, PCS to pieces. After that, we can choose decimal places as well for the quantity. Okay. After creating the unit of measurement, we will create the stock item. We will go to stock item option and we will create items one by one. First, computer. Under will be primary, unit will be pieces, GST applicability applicable, HSN or SSC details, specify details over here. Here we have to provide the HSN details, the 8-digit HSN code. The 8-digit HSN code of computer is this one. It has to be a correct HSN code. We cannot put any kind of random code. Okay, for proper tagging of the item to the GST rate. Okay, we can provide the GST description as well. GST rate details will be specified details here. Taxability type will be taxable. GST rate will be 18%. Type of supply goods, then save the stock item. Similarly, we will create another stock item, mouse. Under primary, units will be pieces. GST applicability applicable. HSN SSC details, specify details. Here we have to provide the HSN details, 8-digit, correct 8-digit HSN code of mouse. The HSN code of mouse is this one, 84716060. Description, it is mouse. Now GST rate details, specify details here. Taxability type will be taxable. GST rate will be 18%. Good. Next, we will create another item, that is keyboard. Under primary, units will be pieces again. GST applicability applicable. HSN details, specify details here. We have to provide the HSN code, the correct HSN code of keyboard as well. Description, keyboard. GST rate details, again it will be specified details here. Taxability type taxable, GST rate will be 18%. Type of supply of goods. Then we will save the stock item creation. 3 stock items I will create to show this example, to explain this example. After proper creation of the stock of all the necessary masters and with proper GST options applicable has to be activated, we will go to passing of GST related vouchers. What vouchers we will pass? We will purchase goods and we will sell goods. I will show you in a very basic manner. First, we will purchase goods from Lalani Infotech, computer, keyboard, mouse. Then we will sell goods to Nimbus Computers Private Limited. Okay, let us go to pass voucher entries. We have to go to vouchers option under Gateway of Tally screen. Then we have to, for purchase voucher type, we have to press F9. Okay, then we have to change the date, whatever date is applicable. Suppose we are passing the entry on 1st July. We have to provide the supplier invoice number. Supplier invoice number, the invoice number which is provided by the supplier, the bill number which is mentioned in the bill, in the invoice which is provided to us by the supplier. Okay. This invoice number will be mentioned in the invoice. You have to provide the invoice number. Date. The date means invoice date. Party account name is Lalani Infotech Limited. Here we have to provide the receipt note number, document number, which is mentioned with these. All these documents will be provided to us by the supplier. We have to provide the information what we get from those invoice, from that invoice and challan. Then we will see these details. Party details screen will come. After that purchase ledger, we have already prepared the purchase ledger. We could have prepared this purchase ledger online also by pressing the Alt C button. But as we have created the ledger previously, we will select the purchase account over here. Cost center class not needed. Name of item. First, we will select computer. Computer 10 pieces at the rate 40,000. Next, keyboard 20 pieces at the rate 200. Next, mouse 15 pieces at the rate 250. After selection of all the items in the invoice, we will press enter. After the total column, we will select the GST ledgers. During purchase of goods and services, we will use the input GST ledgers. Input CGST. See, if everything goes correct, this amount will be taken correctly. 9% of 4,07,750. Then we will select input SGST. 9% of 4,07,750. That means total tax is 36,697.50 plus 36,697.50. Total 18%. Provide GST e-waybill details will be yes. If we are going to have the e-waybill details, we will select these details. We'll provide these details. Because whatever details we provide over here, based on this, the e-waybill will be generated. We have to provide the transporter ID and everything. Okay. After pressing enter on the total amount column, this screen will come up new reference. Bill wise reference. Here we will put the bill number and save the entry. Next, after passing the purchase entry, we are going to sell the goods to Nimbus Computers Private Limited. So next entry, what we are going to pass is the sales invoice. To bring the sales invoice, we have to press the shortcut key F8. Okay, next we will change the date. Suppose 2nd July, we are doing selling the goods on 2nd July. Party name is Nimbus Computers Private Limited. Again, we will provide the challan details, which this challan is to be raised by us. So we have to provide the challan details over here. Then we have to this party details screen will come. We will check these details. Next, we will select the sales ledger. These sales ledger can also be created online, but as we have previously created this ledger, the sales ledger, we'll select the sales ledger. Cost center class is not required. Name of item will be computer. We are selling 8 pieces of computer at the rate 50,000. Next, we are selling mouse 10 pieces at the rate 300 per piece. Next, we are selling keyboard 15 pieces at the rate 270. After the total column, let me make some changes. Suppose we are selling mouse 15 pieces. So after the total column, we will select the GST ledger. Here, in case of sales, we will select output GST ledgers. That is, the output is CGST, 9% total amount is taken, and output is GST, 9%. We do not have to provide the amount. If all the GST applicable settings and options are correct, then these amounts will be taken automatically. So provide GST e-waybill or invoice details has to be set to yes, as because we are selling. So we have to provide where the goods are shipped to. We have to provide the ship to details. Transporter name we have to provide, or we can create transporter details as well. Transporter ID, mode we have to select. Bill to place Kolkata, ship to place Kolkata. This is very important option. We have to provide the bill because these details are mentioned in e-waybill. So we have to provide the bill to place address and the ship to place address also. Bill to and ship to address. Okay. Next, we will type new reference and type the sales invoice number over here. Sell/ABC/2425 024. Okay. We will provide the invoice number. We can provide the narration and then save the invoice. But as because we have not provided accurate correct details, so we cannot send e-waybill details to the e-waybill portal, because whatever correct, we have to provide every correct details over here to generate correct e-waybill. The e-waybill will be generated from the e-waybill portal. Okay, it will be directly redirected to GST portal. For this, GST Tally professional version is required. It cannot be done through educational version. Tally professional version is required, and online connectivity is also required. Okay, so this is a very basic method of implementing intra-state GST in Tally. Very basic, in a very simplified and basic manner. In our next lesson, in our next session, we will be seeing interstate GST ledgers. Okay. Next, in our next session, we will be seeing interstate movement, purchase and interstate sale of goods and goods. Okay. So today's session is up to this. Our next session will be regarding interstate purchase and sale of goods and services.